Welcome to another edition of Walton Entertainment. Today we'll have more news, information, and entertainment from your local hometown.
Hi there! I'm glad you showed up to read with me today. Today we're going to read Bits and Pieces, and it is written by Judy Shackner, who also writes Skippy John Jones books if you like those. Let's read. Bits and Pieces. For a cat, Tink was an odd duck. Perhaps it was because he had been raised by a granny man. Or maybe it was because his brain was the size of a frozen pea. No matter, his family loved their boy to bits. One time, when he and his sisters were quite young, they peeked into each one of his little brown ears. And do you know what they saw? They saw each other. And this explained a lot, such as their cat's eating habits. 2 pool noodles, 1 flip-flop packing peanuts, 3 Chinese lanterns, 1/3 of a shower curtain, dollhouse furniture, rubber bands, good plants, bad plants, more rubber bands, tiny bed baubles, 1 blue bunny brooch, and a slinky. After months of sneaking these kind of snacks, Tink teetered into the kitchen and tipped over, and no amount of coaxing could put their boy back on his paws. So his mother, who loved her boy to bits, had no choice but to take Tink to the kitty clinic, where they treated him with green gloves and a giant red pill. When Tink came home, he had forgotten all about being sick, but he never forgot the excitement of being outdoors. Welcome home, Tinky. Still, Tink enjoyed his life as an indoor cat because he did everything with his family. He read with them and bathed with them. He worked with them and played with them. But from time to time, his family had to leave Tink home alone. So they decided to find their sweet boy a little friend to keep him company. After a few awkward moments and a tussle, Big and Little settled in for a long, cozy nap. And from that moment on, the 2 cats loved each other to bits and pieces. Just as he had learned to be a good cat from his granny man, Tink decided to be a mother brother to his kitten. Among his many lessons were weaving and warming and how to help with the laundry. Though his experience was limited, Tink's best lessons were all about the great outdoors. And over the years, he tried to get more experience. "Get back here, Sneaky Pete." "Oh, no, you don't, Monkey Pants." "Gotcha, Butterball." But it was a battle Tink would always lose. And on his way to becoming a very old cat, Tink would lose many more things. Most of his hearing, a few pounds, and all of his common sense. So that's why on his 20th birthday, Tink licked a stick of butter, then slipped unnoticed out the front door while his father brought in the newspaper. For the first time in his life, Tink was an outdoor cat, and it felt intoxicating. He strolled past 2 barking dogs and 3 squawking crows. Then Tink wove his way through a thick strand of bamboo. Until he met the moon on the other side. "I'm going home now," announced the old boy. Or so he thought, because after a night of wandering, Tink woke up confused and hungry inside the middle of an old rubber tire. And sitting on the floor right next to him was a plate of fresh pink salmon. A block away, 2 little girls were studying a poster about a lost cat. "Hey," said Maya, "isn't that the cat in the Walker's garage?" "Yup," said Allie, "it sure is." Then off they flew like 2 feathers in the wind. But right around the corner and 2 streets down, the cat stranger was beginning to cause a real commotion. Where did he come from? It's like a miracle. "Ooh, he's so cute. Will they keep him? He came from the tire. Do you think he can see? His eyes are so glassy." "No, Tugger likes to eat cats." Just as Tink was basking in the glow of so many new friends, a nice man plucked him from the tire and placed him inside a cardboard box. "Sorry, fella," said the man, "we've got to bring you to the animal shelter." But moments before the lid was lowered, the 2 little sleuths on silver scooters came racing toward the crowd. Huffing and puffing right behind them was a lady who looked like she had lost her best friend. "We found her!" shouted the girls, dropping their scooters. "Found who?" someone shouted. "Tink's mother, of course," replied the girls. "It's another miracle," declared a child. Well, it wasn't a miracle, but to the lady who loved her boy to bits and pieces, it sure felt like one. Over in the box, Tink sat as still as a stick until he looked up and saw 2 sweet girls who reminded him of his own sisters. "Come on, cutie pie," said Allie. "You're going home," said Maya. Then the girls gently lifted the old boy up for one last kiss. They couldn't help but see into Tink's soft brown ears. And do you know what they saw? They saw each other. The end. Are you ready to read with me? Today we're going to read After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. It is by Dan Sentat. Let's read. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. But I really missed the birds and being high above the city. But I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. But day after day, I kept trying and trying. Until I got it just right. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. I almost walked away again, But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. And learned how to fly. The end.
Hi, are you ready to read with me today? Today we're going to read a book about something that happens sometimes, and it can be a little bit embarrassing. Walter the Farting Dog. It's by William Cotswinkle and Glenn Murray, and it is illustrated by Audrey Coleman. Let's read.
Betty and Billy brought Walter home from the dog pound. Nobody wanted him, said Billy. But we love him, said Betty. Well, he smells awful, said their mother. I think you'd better give him a bath. Mother walked in and said, "He still smells awful." And that's when they got the first clue, the telltale bubbles in the water. "He's probably just a little nervous," said Mother hopefully. "His stomach must be upset." But Walter's stomach wasn't upset. Walter's stomach was fine. He felt perfectly normal. He just farted a lot. He did it when he bathed. He did it when he played with Betty and Billy. He did it when he walked around the house. He did it in the dining room. He did it in the kitchen. And he did it in his sleep. "That dog farts morning, noon, and night," said Father. "He can't help it, Daddy," said Betty and Billy. They didn't mind Walter's farts. "So what if he farts? Billy said to Betty when they were alone in their room with Walter. Betty agreed. Walter agreed too. He sat there, looking innocently around, farting. "Take him to the vet," said Father. "Farting," said the vet, "or rectal flatulence, as we say in the medical profession, and prescribed a change in diet." They gave Walter every kind of dog food. He farted. They tried him on cat food. They gave him hot dogs, hamburgers, and lettuce and tomato sandwiches. They gave him fried chicken. They gave him rabbit food. They gave him a vegetarian. No matter what that dog eats, he turns it into farts, roared Father. Walter got the blame for everybody else's farts too. If Uncle Irv let one slip, he just went and stood near Walter. Then all he had to say was, "Walter!" and everyone would look at poor Walter. "He has to go back to the pound," said Father. "No, Daddy, please," begged Betty and Billy. "Don't send Walter away." "He goes tomorrow," said Father. They pleaded. Walter farted. It was all over. That night, Betty and Billy cried in their beds, and Walter looked at them unhappily. "Oh, Walter," said Betty, "you've got to stop farting." "Because Father is going to send you back to the pound tomorrow," said Billy. Walter knew how serious the situation was. He'd never see Betty and Billy again. He resolved to hold in his farts forever. When Betty and Billy fell asleep, he walked down to the kitchen to see if there was anything around to eat. He managed to open the cupboard door with his nose and found the 25-pound bag of low-fart dog biscuits the vet had prescribed for him, which had made him fart more. Even though he knew they made him fart more, he couldn't resist. He ate the entire bag. "Very tasty," said Walter to himself. And then he went and lay down on the sofa. A gigantic gas bubble began to build inside him. "This is going to be trouble," he said to himself nervously. He was afraid of what might happen if he let it go. He thought maybe the house would explode, so he kept it in. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was torture. But he had resolved never to fart again. His future depended on it. As he lay there with his tail wrapped tightly between his legs, he heard a noise at the window. He watched it open slowly. A pair of burglars came through. They dropped silently into the kitchen. "Watch out for the dog," said one of the burglars. "He won't bite," said the other. "He's a wimp." Walter might not have bitten them, except he was so filled with gas he couldn't move. They tied a rag around his snout so he couldn't bark. "Okay," whispered the first burglar. "Let's clear the place out." They took everything they could get their hands on. Walter wanted to stop them, but he was having unbearable gas pains. He rolled on his back. He waved his paws in the air. He gnashed his teeth. "We've got it all," said the second burglar. "Let's go." That's when Walter let it fly. It was the worst fart of his life. It made a tremendous noise and shot him across the room. A hideous cloud filled the air. The burglars clutched their throats, unable to breathe. With tears in their eyes, they raced for the window. They tried to grab their bag with all the valuables in it, but their arms were too weak. "Let's get out of here!" They jumped out the window and ran up the block, choking and gasping for air. Still blinded by Walter's attack, they stepped into the headlights of an approaching police car. "Hold it right there," said the policeman. When Father and Mother came down in the morning, they found the open window, and they saw the bag with their valuables in it, and Walter was sitting beside it. He still had the rag tied around his snout. You'd have to say he looked heroic. "He saved the silverware!" cried Mother. "He saved the VCR!" cried Father. "Good dog, Walter. You're our dog, even if you do fart all the time." And so the family learned to live with Walter, the hero dog. And that's the end of our tale. The end. Walter's Wonder Park, 100% natural gas powered.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight. Recently, members of the ETC group End the Cycle were called out to G.W. Carver Street in downtown Monroe, Georgia. Earlier in the week, Animal Control had took possession of a female dog who had recently had puppies. And though there were no attempts to retrieve the puppies from underneath the house by Animal Control, ETC of Georgia took on the task of saving the puppies. Once on scene, the Monroe Police Department was notified, and several officers responded to G.W. Carver Street to help and rescue some helpless puppies that were left to defend themselves. The puppies were located under a small tiny crawl space underneath the address on G.W. Carver. Rescuers knew right off it wasn't going to be easy to retrieve these puppies. Multiple officers helped in the animal rescue, not only getting on the ground, but crawling under that small space underneath the house. With all that's going on in this country today, this is a great example of how much a part of the community our local law enforcement officers are. They're not just police, they are a part of the community.
This way. Come on, Miss Francine. Scared me. Sorry. Here, go see. Hello, it's your mama.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with the Recreation Report. We're glad to say that all of our programs that we've had going on are going well. We're continuing with our baseball and softball season and soccer seasons, even though it's a shorter season, playing a lot of games the month of June. And then we're going to have a end of the season countywide tournament. Since things are going so well, we decided to do that after the 4th of July, so the date of July 7th through the 11th or 12th, however long it takes to play it. We are going to have our end of the season countywide tournament. So things are going real well with our baseball and softball and soccer seasons for the month of June. So we plan on starting our fall sports. We've pushed our registration dates. Normally we register in May for the fall events while they're still in, the kids are still in school. Since kids weren't in school, we wanted to make sure that everyone was going to go back. So we pushed our registration dates a little bit back into the summer, which we will have July 27th through August 7th in all of our sports registrations, our baseball and softball, our soccer, our football and cheerleading, and then we're adding cross country out at our West Walton Park at Meridian this year. We've created a cross country track between the Meridian Community Center and West Walton Park. It's a little over a mile through the woods that we're going to have our cross country team train from, and hopefully we'll even have some matches there as well. So all of our fall sports registrations, July 27th through August 7th, is when you can register for those programs. I would say, to register pretty quick, because we've got limited space in some of those age groups that will fill up. Fall is always our busiest time because we have so many different sports going on. So there's limited space available in all of those, especially with the football. I would get in and sign up early. That way we can go ahead and get the helmets and shoulder pads and the uniforms ordered. We're registering kind of late, so our evaluation is going to be right after our sign up, so we won't have an elongated time. So please try to get registered. Let anyone know that about this, because it really is out of the it's not the ordinary time that we register for our fall sports. So kids should be getting ready to go back to school somewhere around the beginning of August. So that's why we extended it, the first week of August, to make sure that the word does get out for those that don't watch this program or don't go to our website. And that is the easiest place to register. You don't even have to go to our parks to register. You can do everything online and get registered. Pay the fees with a debit or credit card, and then we'll know your sizes to be able to have everything for you. So get signed up again for our baseball, softball, soccer, football, cheerleading, and cross country. All of that information is on our website at waltoncountyga.gov. We've also started some other programs as well that we had to stop, obviously, because our community centers were closed. Now that we're back open as of July 1st, we'll have some new times that we're going to be open. We abbreviated some times on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and those days we're open 6 in the morning till 8 at night. Wednesdays and Friday we're open from 6 in the morning till 2 o'clock, and then Saturday from 8 to 2 as well. So we've got a little bit of a change with our times. It won't require reservations anymore after July. You may come in, we may still do the temperature checks and ask those questions to make sure everybody's safe inside. We've got extra staff in there now that we're able to clean. We're not having to shut down for those hours as of July 1st where we had to go in and clean. So we brought folks in and we're able to do that cleaning while folks are still working out. And so that keeps people from having to leave and shorten their workout time. So we're able to do all that. We've also started our senior aerobics classes back up. Now we're having to limit those to around 25 at the maximum number of people that we can have in there at one time. We just want to really make sure that they're safe. But they really were demanding that they come back. They really missed doing that exercise program. And it's really healthy for them to be able to get out and do that. They're wiping down their own equipment after each use, and then we're putting that back up. So we do have our senior aerobics class and our Parkinson's class as well that's going on a couple times a week. And again, these folks really needed these classes to keep their health up, to stay in shape, just to stay socially active as well. So we're starting all those classes back up. Some of our aerobics classes and things like that, those things are going on as well. And again, we're taking in some small precautions to make sure that everyone stays safe as well, where they're having to stay spread out and only a limited amount of space. So all the programs here in Walton County are beginning to come back and get normalized as we can. We appreciate everything that everybody has done in the public. We didn't have to ever shut down our parks. They stayed open. People were very responsible. So we appreciate Walton County citizens doing that. And we were one of the few counties in the surrounding area in this metro here on the east side of Atlanta. We were one of the few that didn't have to close down their baseball and softball fields, walking tracks. We did have to close our community centers for a little while, but we've got those things back open. We were one of the first to get some policies in place to be able to open those up. So we appreciate everyone, their patience, and then their responsible way of reopening all of our programs. So again, make sure you get registered. The dates are July 27th through August 7th. And again, I would suggest getting in there as quickly as you can to make sure you have that spot reserved. We've got some other things going on in the county. Our splash park up in between. It's really it's been a slow go, to be honest with you. I don't see that opening this summer season, but it'll be ready to go by the next time it warms up again after the winter. Is when we will have that completed, and we're adding a few other things up there. One of the things that we would like to see added on is some type of dog fenced-in park up there. We're also going to create some walking nature trails / bike trails in the adjacent to the property. So we've got a lot of things going on at that particular parcel of land. It's right across from the fire department and the DMV there in between. Our other project is our South Walton Community Center, and we finally finalized the architectural drawings, and so that will be going out to bid here in the next few weeks. We look for that to come back probably at the September meeting. That bid will be accepted, hopefully, and we'll start that sometime in early or late fall. We will start that project down in South Walton. The community center and the walking track around the lake there in Social Circle. So a lot of good things going on in the recreation world with all of our summer programs, the fall sports programs starting up, and all the things going on at the community center. So we've been very busy, not only with that, opening up our rentals for our pavilions now. That's back online as well. So if you're looking for a place for a birthday party, a small family reunion, we welcome you to go in and reserve one of those parks as well. Our maintenance department's doing a good job of maintaining those and keeping them nice and clean for you. So remember all of those important dates and times, and we hope to see you soon at one of our parks that are near you. And as always, remember, sportsmanship starts at home. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. We're finishing up our last June art camp this week. And in July, we've got 3 camps left. So we have a camp for 5 to 8-year-olds, and then a camp for 9 to 12-year-olds, and then a camp for 8 to 12-year-olds. I believe I got those right. So 3 separate camps for those age groups coming up in July. We're done with June. Our camps are going great. We have a smaller number of campers, about half of the numbers that we ordinarily have. We are intentionally keeping them small so that we can have distancing between the kids. We have a check-in procedure that we have parents sign off on a form, and then we take their temperatures as they're coming in every morning. So, and we are cleaning, of course. Our camps are kind of different this year in that each camper is having their own toolkit and supply kit. We're trying to keep down sharing of tools as much as we can. So there's a little bit of an upcharge because of that, because at the end of camp, the kids will actually take their toolkit and supplies home with them. So you'll have some great art supplies to use at home, in addition to a great experience for the kids and a very positive fun thing for them to do over the summer. So if you're interested, you can learn more about our art camps on our website at monroewaltonarts.org. It's also on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at Monroe Walton Arts. And like I said, we've got 3 camps coming up in July. One camp I know for sure only has 1 or 2 spots left in it. The other camps are filling as well, so if you're interested, hop on there and get registered. All the information about the fees and registration is on our website. Our adult classes are coming back. About the only classes we haven't launched back yet are some of the jewelry classes and our adult painting class. We're hoping to bring those back when we can. But right now we've got pottery going, our girls' night out, sip and paint with Donna is going. That's the 3rd Friday of every month. We have an online creative writing class that ends in July, and it's kind of a weekly class, so you can jump in anytime. You can take the last couple of classes if you wish to. Our drawing class has started back. That's on Wednesdays from 3 to 4. And then our intro to knitting class has started back. That one is held only the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month. And photography is starting in July. That will be a Saturday class, so Photography 101. And so again, you can come in to the center and pick up our class list. You can jump online and learn about all of these classes, the times, the fees, how to register. You do need to register for all of these classes in advance. And then we have an exciting new kids class starting. It's called Art Lab. And we'll have 2 different age groups. We'll have ages 5 to 8 and ages 9 to 12, just like we do for our art camps. So that will be a 4th Saturday. So every 4th Saturday we will have Art Lab. It is not a little painting class like our painting and pizza, if you're familiar with that. Painting and pizza for kids. They have a specific painting that they complete over the course of the couple of hours. Of course, they also have pizza. But Art Lab is more technique based. They'll be working on drawing skills and painting skills and techniques that they can carry with them throughout their lifetime. So painting and pizza is more just fun and relaxed, and they will take home a painting at the end of it. Art Lab is also fun and relaxed, but it's an ongoing class that will build on their art skills as they grow, and we're really excited about this. Sarah Scott will be one of the teachers, and then Donna Kaufman will take the other age group. And initially they'll be working on using their imagination, creating their own imaginary creatures and animals, and then developing those through drawing and painting and other media. So it'll be a lot of fun, and that's a new class. And again, you can learn about it online at monroewaltonarts.org. That's about it for us. I think the gallery still has our shop in it. Our next gallery show will be in August. It will be a regional show that will encompass painting and drawing, 2D art, mixed media, photography, pottery, fiber arts. So that's coming up in August. We have the form to enter that show here. You can also go online to learn about that as well. And our shop is open. We had the best May ever in May. People are really loving to shop online, and also we're getting more visitors into the center to shop as well. We're open Tuesday through Thursday from 11 to 4. And Fridays and Saturdays we're open 10 to 5. We are closed Sundays and Mondays. So come in, pick up a class list, browse the shop, see some original art, just relax and have fun. Find out different ways that you can get involved here. We're always looking for help and volunteers. We're a positive, fun, safe place for the entire family, and we hope to see you soon.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're back up and running here at the center. We're at our normal hours of operation, and business has picked up. So we did want to remind everyone, if you are coming out, as best you can, we want you to still try to keep your space back on the pad or in the recycling drive-through. Still try to keep your space as best we can. We want to be as safe as possible here going forward. But we are back open and running. I think I may have mentioned last time, but just a reminder that we have made a few changes. We are no longer accepting commercial C&D materials. So, if you're a business and you're in the construction business, those things will need to go to a C&D landfill in the county. We have a few of those. Feel free to call us. We can give you the number and the location to where those are. But we are no longer accepting that. The landfill that we use was starting to get too much of it, and had told us they would have to turn our trucks around if we were continued to bring too much in. So that wasn't just a decision we made, it was something that we had to do. And I know there's a lot of people that don't really want to hear that, but we were kind of out of options on that, and it's what we had to do. So that is one of the major changes that's gone on here, and we're going to carry on with that for the foreseeable future. If anything changes, we'll be sure to let you know, but that would come down from the landfill where we take some of the trash that's brought here. Looking forward, we are going ahead as scheduled right now with our Rivers Alive event that we normally do in October. We're starting to reach out to volunteers, some of our group leaders, to make sure that they're okay with it and that they want to volunteer for the event. But presently we're planning on going through as normal with our Rivers Alive event, and we're starting to get started with that. As you know, we had to reschedule our document destruction event that we had scheduled in April. We did finally get that rescheduled for August the 15th, Saturday, August the 15th from 9 to 11. So we'll start getting that on our website and on our Facebook page. There'll be some banners through town. We'll get an article or a flyer in the newspaper. But right now, unless something changes, it is scheduled again for Saturday, August the 15th from 9 to 11. The company we're working with is telling us there's really no restrictions this year on how much paper can be brought in for destruction. So we're not putting any limit on how much people bring in. So that will be a welcome change. I know a lot of people had a lot more than the 2 bankers boxes we've limited to in the past. So hopefully that will help everyone get rid of that's really got a lot of unwanted documents that they would like to securely dispose of. We can take care of that during that event. And as always, if you haven't been to our center before, come out and see us. Let us give you an idea of what we do here. let us help you get started recycling. We can give you ideas on some things, some conservation tips for at home or on the job. But come out and see us. Let us show you around, answer any questions you have. Give us a call if you have any questions, 770-267-1421. And until next time, take care.
But all I've ever learned from love is how to shoot somebody.
Hi Monroe community, this is Gail coming to you from the Farmers Market. We are open down here in downtown Monroe. We opened up a face-to-face market in June, the first week in June. We will be here every Saturday through the second weekend in October, which is October 10th, from 8:30 to 12:30. So come on down to shop. We have some great things in the market for you today. Come on, let's walk. Merlin?
Okay, hi, I'm Merlin Harper, and you're at Deer Creek Farm, and like Gail said, we specialize in blueberries. So we have a variety of blueberries. We have 8 different varieties of blueberries on our farm. We sell blueberries, blueberry pies, and also blueberry iced tea. So all things blueberry is what we provide. So come on out and see us at Deer Creek Farm in Covington, Georgia.
And thank you for following along. We are right now at the booth of Madison McGee. She's a young entrepreneur, and we love young entrepreneurs in the market. She has some very special things that she hand makes. She's been sewing since the age of 13, and we have, in this time of virus, she's got a beautiful selection of masks and some things for your furry companions at home. So Madison, if you would tell us a little bit more about what you have.
Have over-the-collar bandanas, and Velcro bow ties for your pets, and collars and leashes.
And the name of your company is, Madison?
Twisted Tails.
Hold up that card for us, please. Twisted Tails.
And how can they get a hold of you?
Call or email me.
And say that number.
404-395-1761. Yep, that's it.
And now we're back talking to one of our newest farmers. This is May Chang with May's Farm. She's a Hmong farmer, so she's very skilled, and she grows the most amazing vegetable products here in the market. She's been with us, she's new this year, so we're very, very excited to have her fine produce with her. She brings her family with her to help her, and as you can see from what we have left here on the table, she pretty much sells out every week. We're excited to have her. And here we are back down with our artisans again. And if you're a longtime member of the Monroe community, you surely know this person. This is Randall Rowe. He's a master craftsman. If you need anything from a birdhouse to an armadillo trap, this is the man to talk to. So Randall, tell us a little bit more about your business.
Well, we've been doing carpenter bee traps for about 9 years. A few years ago we had an infestation of armadillos, so I started building armadillo traps. And of course we've been doing birdhouses all along, and now we've added teapot birdhouses. Paul, turn around and show the teapot birdhouses.
Wow, that is neat.
Good, how are you?
Come tell us about the armadillo trap.
Well,
that's very interesting.
We call it a rabbit box on steroids. And the first time you guide him in with some drift fence, and after you catch one in a wooden trap, his scent gets in the wood, and you can just set it out, and they'll naturally go to the center of the wood, or the armadillo that's in the wood.
So this is a thing they don't have to step on, they just hit that.
And when they go in, they hit this trigger just like in an old rabbit box. It comes down like that, and you got him. And then they're not like squirrels. When you open it up to get him out to do away with him, however you want to do that, you have to prod him out, because he won't just run out like a squirrel.